What is up, YouTube? Today's video is going to be on how to part out some motorcycles and make some money. Because who doesn't like making money? And who doesn't like motorcycles? So if you haven't seen any of my other videos of how to part out, we do a bunch of stuff mostly with ATVs. ATVs, dirt bikes, things of that nature. See the Ranger project right there. And I don't do as many motorcycles as I used to, but I got into this industry doing motorcycles. So the biggest part, if you want to be profitable, is buying it at the right price. You do not want to go out and spend a bunch of money on something that's not even going to make anything. Not all of these bikes have value anymore. The katanas, you know, the carb rack on those and the gas tank. Aside from that, the rest of the bike's just a few dollar pieces and a whole bunch of stuff that doesn't sell. Now, these cruisers were something that fell into my lap as part of a big buyout I did, and they were cheap. Normally, these are not motorcycles I like to part out either, unless I get them dirt cheap like I did these. So this one here is a 2008 1100, I believe. I don't do a whole lot of cruisers. It's not where my knowledge base is. The biggest value on this bike is the gas tank, the ECU, the gauge, and I believe the heads are worth a few bucks, but not really worth anything. The carb is worth quite a bit. But for the most part, when it comes to these style cruisers, small bore, you know, like the 600s, stuff like that, they're not highly profitable when you part them out, because not as many people want to ride them, not as many people are fixing them. They're just not that great. But like I said, getting a good deal on one, this tank here is $300 to $500, depending on how well it cleans up and not has scratches. It's got some nice paint on it, blue sparkle. The carb's 300 gauge, if it works. I'm assuming it works. That's it's like 250. I think the CDI on this thing, ECU, that's another 250. Some of the parts off of this, like the wheels, the forks, half the engine isn't worth. It's not even worth shipping, just because the cost, it outweighs it. So you make your money on a handful of parts and you're good to go. Now, if you get it cheap, you know, you say you pick something like this up, that this here has a flywheel stator failure, and whoever the mechanic was that worked on it thought the best bet would be to cut the crankshaft to get the flywheel off. And I don't know about you, but that doesn't even seem like a logical idea to me, but it is what it is. On something like this, chrome covers can get, they're still sellable. A lot of people still buy the chrome components, but the chrome has to be in good shape, nice and shiny. This bike has been sitting since 2014, so it's got quite a bit of dust built up on it. And see, that shines up good. So that cover will probably have some value. The rear differential on here, I did not look that up, so that might actually have some value too. Now, that's just a general rule of thumb when you're dealing with cruisers. So like this here, this is a 2005, I believe, Vulcan 1500, and I forget what year model that one is. That one is a Vulcan 1800. The engine is just absolutely massive on it, and both of them have engine failure. The cruisers, they're not the best. They do still sell, especially when we hit times like this where gas prices go up, your motorcycles start selling. So people more want a motorcycle to save on fuel. Makes sense, right? In my opinion, the best motorcycles that are good to part out are the sport bikes. Generally, you can pick them up for anywhere between $500 and $1,500 with a multitude of issues, wrecked, whatever. You just want to make sure that you're accounting what issues are damaged when you're buying it so that the parts have the value. So you don't want to go out and spend $2,000 on a 2008 R6 with a blown motor when that motor is going to be a lot of your money that you're going to return back. So on a street bike, the sport bikes, having complete sellable motors is really the best way to go about it, because you make most of your money back on a whole running engine. It seems like a lot of that community would rather engine swap than engine rebuild, like on an ATV. So if you're wanting to get into the industry, wanting to start parting out motorcycles to make a profit, but don't know how much to pay for it, what you want to do is you want to get on eBay. You're going to type in whatever make model it is. So for this one here, for example, what we would do is we're going to put in 2008 Yamaha V-Star. I'm drawing a blank, forgot what it was. But we're going to call it a V-Star. 2008 Yamaha V-Star 1100. And we're going to, it's going to bring you a whole bunch of Chinese listings. We're going to want to bypass that, go over to filter, and then filter used only. You want to look at what the cost of used parts is. And then you're going to scroll down just a little bit more and hit the sold items. And going from those sold items, you can actually take and see what's selling. So me personally, I will sort the sold items, the used sold items. I will sort that highest to lowest. So you start out and you can sit there and scroll through. So the first things you're going to see are like generally the engines, because there's so much money in shipping them, or the frames, because there's a lot of money in shipping that too. I mean, can you imagine shipping one of these frames right here? That's huge. And then you scroll down, and that's when you're gonna start seeing, like most of the time, gas tanks. Motorcycles always have expensive gas tanks, so when you're buying one, you wanna make sure you don't have a bunch of rust in it. I haven't even looked to see if this one does. A nice, good, clean tank. Yeah, buddy. You're gonna see the tanks. You're gonna want your tank to look like that. Not always do they, and just because it has a little bit of rust don't mean it's trash. People still buy it, especially if the cosmetic of the tank looks good. Then you're gonna start seeing your carburetors or your throttle bodies, and then whatever is the general main issue parts. Generally, the main parts that fail are the expensive ones. So you wanna make sure you account for that. Next, I would make sure you look over the bike very well. There are good sellers and there are bad sellers. Some stuff, I buy a lot of stuff sight unseen from auction, you know, just winging it, who cares? I've bought some bikes that were pretty mangled from auction, and you get it back and it's hard to salvage what I spent on it because of the fact that it is so destroyed. So like I will use a site like highbid.com or ProxyBid, or when I was in Texas, I used Renee Bates, and you can buy stuff from those auction sites and just bid on it and then pick it up. Makes it pretty easy, you know, not dealing with shady sellers. But say you're gonna go buy it from an individual, you go buy this from an individual, you wanna look it over very well. Turn the engine over, don't take anyone's word for it. Hear it run if they claim it will run. You know, I can't tell you how many people I see selling something. It will run if you blank, insert whatever here. Now, that's fine, but it is not a running bike if it will run with insert whatever. Kind of like if they say it just needs a carb clean. What I do is I will spray carb cleaner into the carb or the intake, and we try to start up. It generally will start right up if all it needs is carb cleaned. So it's easy to determine. Last part, you got to, well, I say that, second to last part, you got to get it back. You got to have a way to haul it. I did sell a Triumph to a guy a few years ago. We tore it down and stuck it in his back seat. It was a Daytona 775, 875. It was orange. That's about as good as I remember. And he pulls up in a car, and we took it apart, took the triple trees and the forks, the front end off of it, took the rear tire off, put that whole car in his back seat, and that's not the craziest thing I've ever seen, but it was interesting for sure. And so you want to make sure you get it hauled, get it home, and then tear it down. Now determine how you're going to tear yours down. If you're tearing the full engine down, if you're going to sell the engine whole, how you're going to sell your front ends. You know, some people like to sell front ends from here to down there, but you know, you need to be prepared to how you're going to ship that. And then you just list it on eBay. Make sure you cross-reference those sold listings and go off of that for your pricing. And once you've got it priced, get it listed, get it sold, and bam, easy money. So, for example, I believe I paid $100 a piece for these. Like I said, they were part of a lot. I'll sell that tank off the white one alone and completely recuperate all of the money I put in plus the profits. And that's generally a rule of thumb that I like to work by, is the bike has at least one part on it that will make me my money back and make me a little bit of profit. And then, you know, you get another couple parts that make some money and you're good to go. You know, it's easy. It's really easy doing this. I mean, the hardest part is finding and buying the bikes. That really is the hardest part. And if you spend enough time on Facebook Marketplace, finding won't be hard. And last this, before I forget, don't buy anything sketchy. You do one sketchy thing and it goes downhill from there. So like, I've had sellers try to tell me that the VIN was removed for whatever reason. I'll buy it from an auction company that is salvage like that, but from an individual, no. No, because when you buy it from the salvage company, you actually have paperwork proof and all of that. When you buy it from an individual, you're buying somebody's stolen bike, and that's a dick move. Second part, these gauges. The price reflects depending on the condition and mileage. So if this gauge has 1,000 miles on it versus if this gauge had 100,000 miles on it, there's a massive price difference there. Some people don't care about how many miles their gauge has. Some people do. You just want to make sure that that you do that. I take pictures of the gauge on the bike with it on before I finish tearing it down. Thanks for watching. Like, subscribe, and I have lots of other videos how we do this with dirt bikes, ATVs. I mean, you name it. This industry is easy. It's easy money. I think I picked this up for cheap. Side by sides, the money's there too. These right here were cheap, easy money.